Welcome to day 29. You know, I have to be honest, sometimes after I've been going through these gems, I think we all should maybe call this practical pearls from the Proverbs. There's so much practical information here. I mean, I love the fact that we're saying we're discovering gems of wisdom for daily living. And this really is information that can be applied on a daily basis, hour by hour, moment by moment, whether you're a wife, a husband, a child, a son, a daughter, a sister, a brother. It's just amazing what Solomon puts in here. And in Proverbs 29:11 is our gem. It says this in the NASB: a fool always loses his temper, but a wise man holds it back. Now, I'll tell you something. We could spend a lot of time talking about this, but instead of going too far, I would like to just give a little bit of information about the way that Solomon wrote it. Can I say, one of the English versions that we could look at that would do a little bit more justice to some of what's happening in the Hebrew actually is the Jewish Publication Society. I don't use it all the time. I like it as a translation to compare and contrast. And I think really the JPS caught more of what Solomon's saying here. It says, he uses the word a dullard. I'm not sure what a dullard is. I know what a fool is. But anyways, a dullard vents all of his rage, but a wise man calms it down. Now, this is really interesting because really what the text is saying, it actually uses the word the ruach, the spirit of the fool. All of his spirit goes out is really the word that we're seeing here, meaning that his rage, he's not able to kind of temper it, meter it out. Basically, when he gets upset or she gets upset, it all goes out. And Solomon says that person is a fool. And if you do any sort of study about the fruit of the fool, what happens to the fool, you'll be sure to start getting it under control. But then it uses this wonderful phrase that a person of wisdom in this situation basically I just have to say in this situation, the NASB is saying a wise man. It doesn't actually say man. It's the adjective. But the wise happens to be in the masculine, but it doesn't mean that it's male focused. It's talking about the person who is wise, literally is able to still, to hold back, to calm down that which many of us, all of us, deal with at certain times when we get angry. And what it's really saying is it's not that anger isn't something that the wise person deals with. In fact, it acknowledges that, in fact, that person does deal with anger, but how do you deal with it? The fool, I mean, it's wide open. Just let it out, let it do what it wants to do. But the wise person calms it down. I want to give you another verse in 29:8. This is really quite interesting. I happen to be doing this during a time I'm in Charlotte, North Carolina, and over the last month or so, there's been some real problems in Charlotte. And what I've seen is, as I've gone over and been reading through Proverbs, I kind of seen this verse come to fruition. Proverbs 29:8. It says that scorners set a city aflame, but wise men, wise people, the wise, turn away anger. And you know, it's really been very sad for me to see this little sweet city of Charlotte go through what it's gone through. The issues that we're dealing with here in Charlotte, some of the protests and things that took place. I believe there's a way to protest. I believe there's a time to protest. I believe that, calling for righteousness and justice is good. But when people begin to use those opportunities to actually express their own issues of anger and scorn and start setting a city ablaze, then we know that we're not dealing with wisdom anymore. So one of the things that I actually did was I spent some time in prayer and went down into Charlotte in the midst of all that was going on. It was really difficult to look around and to see a National Guard and police and helicopters everywhere. And I happened to be there at a time where people weren't taking their anger and turning it into something that caused the city to be set aflame, but rather they were trying to walk out their call for justice and the frustration that does exist. I'm not getting into all of that right now, but I would say that I got a chance to see what it looks like when people are not able to calm their anger down. And if we have a continuation of that, as we've seen over the years here in the United States, it can get completely out of control and a city can be set aflame. May it not be for you personally. May you be able to be one that would look at your own life like a city and say, I will not set my life aflame, but I would rather turn away, still, quiet down, meter out what's going on inside of me in a way that would be wise. May it be for you. My friends, there's so much that we can get from this one simple verse. I'm sure there are people that struggle with being able to lose, where they've lost their temper. And I think what the NASB is trying to say is, look, the fool is going to lose their temper. They're not going to be able to control it, but the wise person will. So may it be for you. Remember, my friends, keep digging. This is Proverb Pearls, and I am your friend and host, Keith Johnson.